Entitled aunt demands I give my watch to my spoiled cousin and slaps me when I won't give it to her. I, 24-year-old male, have an aunt, a 45-year-old female who has two daughters, which are 18 and 16. We'll call them entitled aunt, good uncle, a 49-year-old male, good cousin, the 16-year-old, and entitled cousin, the 18-year-old. Entitled cousin's birthday is in early January, and since they live 3 hours away from me, I decided to visit them for entitled cousin's birthday. Now, there's one thing to note about entitled cousin. She has never been told no by entitled aunt whenever she wanted anything, so she is as spoiled as an 18-year-old can get. On the other hand, good cousin has always been more grateful for what she had. Unlike her spoiled sister, good cousin never asked for expensive phones, necklaces, and weekly manicure like entitled cousin does. When my father's dad passed away, I inherited from him an old Rolex watch with a leather strap, which I always wear on my hand to remember him, as my relationship with him was very close when he was alive. On entitled cousin's birthday, I gave her a silver necklace as a gift, which she didn't even thank me for, but that was expected from her, so I didn't mind it. Entitled cousin received an iPhone 14 Pro Max from entitled aunt and good uncle, which made her yell out of joy. The cake entitled aunt ordered was dark chocolate and raspberry glaze and had a huge happy birthday entitled cousin on it, which was honestly the best part of the whole birthday party. Later that day, entitled cousin noticed my watch, and the following conversation followed. Hey, Opie, thank you for the necklace. You're welcome. I thought you were going to thank me for it. Of course I would, but I noticed the watch you had. Yes, it was given to me after Grandpa died. Grandpa died? When? She thought I was speaking of entitled aunt and my mom's father, which he's alive. No, my dad's father. Oh, sorry, I didn't know he died. Yes, I miss him a lot. He gave you a really nice watch, didn't he? Me, knowing where this was going. Yes, he did. Why? I was just wondering if I could give you back the necklace and you give me the watch in exchange. What do you think? No, this is more than a watch to me. I can't give it to you. Entitled aunt, who overheard our conversation, joined in. Oh, come on. You know how much entitled cousin liked watches. Plus, it would fit her so nicely. I said no. Now, excuse me. I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, but first, give us the watch, and then you are free to go. Sorry, what? You heard me, OP. Give me the watch. I already told you no. Now, please leave me alone, or else I'm taking back the necklace. Fine, but I'll let your mother know of how rude you were to us. But mommy, I want the watch. Now keep in mind, she is an 18-year-old crying about not getting an expensive watch for free. You see what you did? You made entitled cousin mad. God will not forgive you for your actions. Then she slaps me across the face. I went straight to good uncle after that and told him what happened. So he went to them. What the heck are you doing? What do you mean? OP is being rude to my baby. She's an adult, for God's sakes. Why do you keep acting like she's a toddler? You're taking sides. No, I'm not. Why the heck would you slap him? Because that's what brats like him deserve. All right, that's enough. If I see you bothering OP one more time, this party is over. After that, entitled aunt left me alone, but entitled cousin started crying and yelling about wanting a watch, which good uncle quickly made her shut up about. For the rest of the party, entitled aunt gave me death glares whenever I was around, but a good uncle kept her and entitled cousin shut. That night, good cousin apologized to me for her sister's behavior, but I told her that it was not her fault. The next day, I woke up earlier than the others, packed my bags, and took the earliest minibus back home. I sent them a text saying I had to go home early for work, and left it at that. My mom called me later that day asking me why did I argue with entitled aunt, and I told her the whole story. She just started laughing and told me she'll talk to entitled aunt about it. I haven't heard from entitled aunt or her family since, but I recently texted good cousin happy birthday on her birthday, and she thanked me. Mother disowned me, 26-year-old female, for getting a tattoo. My entitled mother has always been quite controlling about my appearance, even as a teen. I was kicked out of home briefly for cutting my hair. I cut it maybe 3 inches. It was still very long. She does tend to overreact to small things she can't control. I always wanted a tattoo for the longest time, and I was really set on a certain design that I had thought about for years, but my mother always told me that she would kick me out of home if I got tattooed. So I did respect her and never got it done while I was living at home. 2 years ago, I purchased my own home and lived by myself, but I still see my family at least once a week for family dinner. At family dinner a few months ago, I asked if she would seriously disown me if I got tattooed, and she said no, that she was just joking around. I finally bit the bullet and got the design I wanted. Super excited with my new piece of art, I sent through a picture, and it's been radio silence ever since. My brother let me know that she's been screaming, slamming stuff, and saying hurtful things such as that I look cheap and nasty and that she has no daughter. I attempted to come to the family dinner recently, and she locked herself in the bathroom and wouldn't even talk to me. She was also invited to my godson's first birthday party and didn't show up simply because I was there. It has come to the point that she is threatening my dad with divorce simply because he and my brother haven't sided with her. He also hasn't spoken with me, though. She has always made me feel like I don't get a say in my own body, but I thought it would end once I was 18 or older and moved out of home. Entitled mother accuses me of trying to abandon my dog. So there's me, as in me, entitled mother or Karen, and nice kid. Well, this just happened like 10 minutes ago. I, 15-year-old male, was walking my dog. Now, what I usually do is let her off the lead and just run around with her. Though I do keep the lead in case she tries to run to other dogs. She's not aggressive, she's just overly friendly and willing to follow any other dog she meets. But today, she didn't follow us close as usual due to being tired as we were out for a while. This is when Karen appeared, her son in tow. She storms over to me and the following conversation happened. Why are you leaving your dog? Yes, she put emphasis on the words in all caps. Me, now confused and holding up the lead I'm still holding. What? I saw you move your dog's lead and run away. What kind of pet owner are you? But I wasn't. You know, if you didn't want the dog, you could have just said so. Me and my kid would be much better owners than you. But mom, we have a dog at home. Quiet. Mommy is trying to get you another one. Me, now annoyed, excuse me, you're gonna give me the lead now. By now, my dog has finally realized where I am and comes over to me, to which I respond by putting her leash on. There's a small handle on my dog's harness, just behind the lead. An entitled mother tries to grab it. Luckily, I'm able to pull the dog away before she can. Not too hard, just enough for her to move her away. The entitled mother then shouts at me, "What do you think you're doing? You clearly don't want her, so can't you just hand her over?" Can't we just go? Not until this B word gives us the dog. That won't be happening. I'm leaving with my dog. Now stop talking to me. I leave with the entitled mother shouting after me, mostly obscenities and foul language, and reward my dog with treats at home for behaving well during this encounter. Girl in pink. I just made a post and one of the comments reminded me of an incident. One afternoon, a woman, her sixth daughter, came to my booth. The little girl was in all pink. Pink sneakers, pants, shirt, bows in her hair. If it was today, I'm sure her hair would be pink. The girl starts looking, and the mother says the immortal, "These are for boys" line. I always respond how she's in an error, and that many girls like comics and gaming cards. To her credit, she did start showing her cute kids several different girl titles. Powerpuff Girls, yuck. Betty and Veronica, yuck. I'm sure you're starting to see a pattern. So I asked the little girl the one question that the mother did not ask. What do you like? As soon as I got those words out, the little adorable girl's face went demonic, and with an evil glee, she yelled out, "Lady Death!" The mother said, "Who?" I had an autographed Lady Death book on the shelf, so I showed her. She turned to her husband, who was looking in the booth next to mine, and she started yelling at him. I showed him the book, and he said, "So?" She started yelling about how the drawing was dressed, etc. He stated, "You were less than that at the beach." Of course, that was different, and I did sell the autograph book. Entitled mother demands I give up my airline seat because her child deserves it more. So I'm on a 5-hour flight for a work conference. I booked a window seat because I like to lean against the wall to sleep. I board the plane, settle in, and everything seems fine. Then enters entitled mom and her kid, entitled kid. You're in our seat. I don't think so. This is 23A, right? Yeah, but my son really wants to look out the window. I booked the seat specifically. Sorry. Well, my son has never flown before, and he should get to experience it. You should give your seat to him. He deserves it more. I understand, but I also paid for this seat. At this point, the flight attendant comes over to see what the commotion is about. Is everything all right here? No! He won't let my son sit by the window. Ma'am, the seats are assigned and he's in his correct seat. This is outrageous! My child deserves this experience! I can't change assigned seats. You have to sit in your assigned seat. Entitled mother huffs and puffs, but finally takes her assigned middle seat next to me, muttering about how some people are so selfish. 5 hours sitting next to entitled mother was not fun, but I held on to my window seat. My comfort was worth more than her entitlement. So that's my experience. Can't believe people like this actually exist. Evil stepmother wants my baby. Okay, for some background, 29-year-old female, in English, and I live in Italy with my fiance, 37-year-old Marco, who's Italian, and our daughter, 5-month-old Willow. I moved to Italy after graduating medical school, where I met Marco, and now I'm a resident in one of the hospitals. My father is a crap dad, left my mom and me, and has been very inconsistent. He married Tammy when I was young, and she never liked me, and she also never able to have kids. So when I gave birth, my mom's side of the family came over to visit and meet Willow and look after both of us. Nothing from Dad or Tammy. So 2 weeks ago, they turned up unannounced, claiming to be in the area on holiday, and wanted to meet Willow. She was getting a bit fussy and she combination fed, but as I was home, I grabbed the cover and let her latch onto me. Tammy says the breastfeeding will have to stop soon. I'm confused and asked her why. She said it couldn't be kept up when Willow was with them. Now I'm even more confused and I asked her what is she on about. She showed me photos of a baby room and says we should split custody of Willow and not to worry and she has everything set up already. I just stare at her, but she carries on, claiming that the age gap between myself and Marco is unhealthy for a child to grow up with, saying it was obvious I needed help and she was happy to. And mostly that it was obviously more bothered about working than staying home with my baby, so I should just let her have Willow. But obviously she wasn't able to breastfeed, so we would have to stop that now. I tell her she can't be serious and think I'm giving her my baby, and she tells me to calm down. She's not taking full custody, but she will provide a much calmer and stabler home that I could always visit. She said it's what she deserves. Marco pushed everyone out and made sure Willow and I were all right. Since then, I've been really weirded out and been getting texts from my father saying I need to let Tammy prove herself as a good caregiver. And Tammy's been sending loads of photos of the nursery she had made. Just to add, so people don't get confused, I'm in Italy, but Tammy isn't. They had flown over here. Edit. Just to answer some common questions, my dad isn't actually on my birth certificate, so I think that limits his grandparent rights claim. My mom is just our nominated guardian for Willow if anything happens to us. It's written in a will, and Willow goes to daycare in a hospital we both work at.